The steak had gone cold an hour ago. I sat alone at the dining table, staring at the second plate I had made for Claire. Candle burned halfway down, wine untouched. My phone sat face up beside my fork. 8:47 p.m., then 9:16, then 9:42. No message, no apology, just silence. The same silence that had started living inside our house months ago. I picked up my phone and unlocked it again, even though I already knew there was nothing there. Still no text, no running late, no sorry, nothing. The anniversary gift sat in the corner beside the dining shelf, still wrapped. A silver bracelet she once pointed at while we walked through a mall 6 months earlier. It's beautiful. I remember the smile on her face back then, back when she still noticed me, back when dinner together meant something. The front door finally unlocked a little after 10. Claire stepped inside with her heels in one hand and her phone pressed between her shoulder and ear. Dark navy business dress. Hair messy from a long day. Still beautiful. Still the woman I loved. But somehow standing farther away than ever. Noah, email me the revised numbers before midnight, she muttered while kicking off her shoes. I don't trust the first draft. A pause, then a small laugh. You worry too much. My stomach twisted. She finally noticed me. Oh, that one word landed harder than it should have. Her eyes moved to the table. Dinner. Candles. The wrap box. For half a second, guilt crossed her face. Then her phone buzzed again. Sorry, she mouthed, lifting a finger before walking into the kitchen. I stayed where I was. Knife in hand. Food cold. Heart somehow colder. She returned 10 minutes later, loosening her earrings. You're still awake? The question almost made me laugh. Hard to sleep during our anniversary dinner. Claire froze. Her lips parted slightly. Then she glanced toward the wrap box. Oh my God. The guilt came back stronger. Ethan, you forgot. No, you forgot. Her shoulders dropped. I've had investor meetings all week. That explains forgetting our anniversary. It explains being busy. Busy. That word again. Always busy. Too busy to eat dinner. Too busy to talk. Too busy to notice when I stopped smiling. Claire rubbed her temple. I can't do this tonight. Do what? This. Her hand moved between us. The guilt trip. I stared at her. The exhaustion in her voice hit me harder than anger would have. Like loving me had become another meeting she wanted to cancel. I made dinner. I didn't ask you to. That one hurt. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just sharp. Like paper cutting skin. Her eyes softened a little after she said it. I didn't mean. You never mean it. The words came out quieter than I expected. Too tired for anger. Too tired for another fight. Claire looked toward the clock. I have an early board meeting. Of course she did. Always another meeting. Another investor. Another problem more important than us. She picked up her laptop bag. I'll make it up to you this weekend. You said that last weekend. She stopped walking. I'm trying. No, I said quietly. You're surviving work. Her jaw tightened. And what exactly do you think I'm doing all this for? Our future. The answer came fast. Practiced. Automatic. I almost finished it for her. Claire folded her arms. You think running a company is easy? No. Then stop acting like I'm choosing this. The words sat between us. Heavy. Ugly. Because deep down, I wasn't sure anymore. Maybe she was choosing this. Maybe she was choosing everything else. Everything except me. She grabbed her laptop. I'm sleeping in the guest room tonight. Another habit we somehow picked up without talking about it. Like strangers learning how to avoid each other politely. The door shut. I stayed at the table another 20 minutes. The candle burned out on its own. I finally stood and wrapped the untouched dinner in foil. Her plate went into the fridge exactly the way it always did. Unfinished. Ignored. Like me. The next few weeks passed the same way. Late nights. Missed dinners. Excuses. I stopped asking when she'd be home. Stopped pretending movie nights were still happening. Stopped setting the table for two. But something else started bothering me. Something I could not explain. At company events, Claire barely looked at me anymore. Not really. Her attention kept drifting somewhere else. Someone else. Noah Hayes. 27. Sharp suit. Confident smile. Always standing beside her. Always carrying her schedule. Always somehow knowing what she needed before I did. At first, I told myself I was imagining things. He was her assistant. That was all. But then little moments started piling up. At dinner with investors. Noah, what do you think? At business lunches. Noah already handled it. At private conversations. Noah suggested something smarter. Noah, Noah, Noah. Like his opinion mattered before mine even entered the room. Then came the charity gala. The moment I still wish I could forget. Claire stood near the stage in a silver dress, speaking with executives about expanding overseas. Noah stood beside her, tablet in hand. I joined them halfway through. Too risky, one investor said. Claire smiled confidently. We're prepared. I frowned. Prepared for what? Her attention shifted toward me, distracted. The Dubai expansion. I blinked. Wait, you approve that already? Noah adjusted his tie. We're still finalizing. I turned toward Claire. You told me yourself the numbers weren't stable. Her smile faded slightly. Things changed. In 2 weeks. A few executives went quiet. I lowered my voice. Claire, rushing expansion right now feels dangerous. She crossed her arms. Noah disagrees. I glanced at him. He avoided eye contact. Something about that annoyed me instantly. This isn't personal, I said carefully. I'm just saying maybe slow down. Claire gave a small, tired laugh. Not warm. Not kind. The kind meant to dismiss. You don't understand the market. The words landed publicly. Hard. I swallowed. I understand risk. Noah understands where I'm trying to go better than you do. Everything around me suddenly felt louder. Music. Glasses clinking. People pretending not to stare. My jaw locked. Nobody spoke for a second. Noah looked uncomfortable. One executive awkwardly cleared his throat. Claire turned back to the group like nothing happened. The conversation moved on, but I barely heard anything after that, because something cracked open inside me. Not anger, not jealousy, something worse. Humiliation. I stayed another hour. Smiled when people looked at me. Pretended everything was normal. Then drove home alone. Claire stayed back for meetings. Or drinks. Or whatever mattered more. By midnight, I sat on the couch in darkness. Another cold dinner waited untouched in the kitchen. Her anniversary gift still sat unopened. I hated myself for noticing that. Around 1 in the morning, Claire finally came home. Too tired to argue. Too tired to explain. Straight to the guest room after a short, long night. I stayed awake. Mind restless. Heart louder than reason. Around 2, I walked into the kitchen for water. Her tablet lit up on the counter. An email notification glowed across the screen. Business travel confirmation, Seattle. I almost ignored it. Almost. Then one line caught my attention. Executive suite reservation confirmed. Claire Bennett. Noah Hayes. Room arrangement updated due to system availability. One shared suite booked. My fingers froze. I read it again. Then again. Like maybe exhaustion had made me stupid. Shared suite. System availability. Noah Hayes. My stomach dropped so hard I had to grip the counter. No, there had to be an explanation. A mistake. Something. Anything. I turned toward the hallway. The guest room door stayed closed. Claire slept peacefully while my entire chest felt like it had been ripped open. I stood there for a long time. Tablet glowing in my hands. Cold dinner behind me. Anniversary gift untouched. And for the first time in years, I quietly wondered if I should stop fighting for this marriage. The hotel booking sat inside my head for days. I wanted to ask Claire about it. Wanted to believe there was a simple explanation. A booking mistake. A tired assistant clicking the wrong room. Anything. But every time I saw her lately, she looked like someone already halfway out the door. Always distracted. Always rushing. Always somewhere else. So instead of accusing her, I made one last decision. One last attempt. One last chance to save whatever was left of us. Friday evening came with rain tapping softly against the windows. Claire stood near the kitchen counter, laptop open, fingers moving across the keyboard while dinner sat untouched beside her. Her wine glass stayed full. Her attention belonged somewhere else. Probably work. Probably Noah. I hated that thought. Still, I swallowed my pride. We need a weekend. Her fingers paused. Not fully. Just enough to show she heard me. What? A real weekend. I leaned against the counter. No phones. No meetings. No company drama. Just us. She finally looked up. Tired eyes. Messy hair. a face that once softened whenever I walked into a room. This weekend, yes. My voice came quieter than expected. Please, Claire. That word tasted awful. Please. Like I was asking for something I should not have to beg for. Her shoulders loosened a little. Ethan, no distractions. I forced a small smile. Remember that cabin we used to visit? The corner of her mouth twitched. Lakewood. Yeah. The memory hit me harder than expected. Cold mornings. Coffee on the porch. Laughing over burnt pancakes. Back when she reached for my hand without thinking. Back when I mattered. Already booked it, I admitted. That surprised her. You booked it. A week ago. Her expression shifted. Guilt. Again. That same guilt that always came too late. You should have told me. I wanted to surprise you. She closed her laptop halfway. Okay. The word landed softly. Hope moved through me before I could stop it. Okay. Claire nodded slowly. Fine. One weekend. Relief almost made me laugh. Really? Really? The next morning I packed early. Cabin bags near the front door. Coffee ready. I even bought snacks she used to love. Chocolate-covered almonds. Strawberry soda. Little things. Small memories. Around noon, her phone rang. She checked the screen. Her expression changed instantly. Professional. Focused. Gone. It's Noah. Something inside me dropped. She answered immediately. What happened? Her voice sharpened. Then quieter. Then tense. She walked into the other room. 20 minutes later, she returned already reaching for her car keys. I can't go. The words came casually. Like canceling dinner. Not our marriage. I stood still. What? There's an investor issue. You promised. It's urgent. My eyes moved toward the pack bags. You said yes. I know. Claire rubbed her forehead. But Noah needs help fixing something before Monday. There was again. Noah. Always Noah. I tried keeping my voice calm. One weekend. Her attention dropped to her buzzing phone. You don't understand how much pressure I'm under right now. No. I nodded slowly. What I understand is that every time I ask for something, your company wins. That's unfair. Is it? Claire exhaled hard. Ethan, grow up. The words landed harder than they should have. This is my job. I'm your husband. You're acting insecure. Something sharp moved through me. Not anger. Disappointment. The kind that comes after hoping too many times. You know what? She grabbed her coat. We'll do something next weekend. I almost laughed. Next weekend. The favorite lie of broken marriages. The front door shut. And just like that, another promise disappeared. Hours later, I found myself downtown near Claire's office. Not to spy. Not intentionally. I had left my wallet in her car after helping move boxes earlier that week. The office lobby buzzed with employees leaving for the weekend. Near the elevators, two women stood talking quietly. I recognized them from Claire's company. Neither noticed me. I swear, one of them whispered, laughing softly, Claire trusts Noah more than anyone. The other shook her head. They're basically attached. Didn't they spend Seattle together? Honestly, half the office already thinks something's going on. My feet stopped moving. No way. You haven't noticed? She barely listens to anyone except him. A quiet laugh followed. Poor husband. The elevator opened. They stepped inside. Conversation gone. But the damage stayed. Poor husband. The words followed me all the way home. Claire came back late. Again. Laptop under one arm. Shoes in hand. You're awake? I stayed seated on the couch. TV running without sound. Can I ask you something? Her shoulders stiffened immediately. What now? That hurt. What now? Like I had become another problem waiting at home. People talk. Claire frowned. What people? At your office. Her expression darkened instantly. About Noah. The room changed. Fast. Tension replacing air. You're kidding. I overheard co-workers. So now we're listening to gossip? No. I leaned forward. I'm listening to my wife choose another man's opinion over mine every day. Her jaw tightened. You're being ridiculous. Am I? Yes. She dropped her purse harder than necessary. Noah supports me because he understands pressure. The words stayed in the air. Then came the part that hurt most. You don't. I blinked. What? You don't understand what this job takes. Claire crossed her arms. You think dinners and weekends matter more than keeping everything from collapsing. This isn't about dinner. Then what? You stopped choosing us. Her eyes narrowed. No. She shook her head. You're jealous. The accusation almost stunned me. Jealous. You hate how close Noah and I work. I stood slowly. That's not what hurts. Then stop acting insecure. The word hit differently this time. Insecure. Like loving my wife made me weak. Like wanting attention inside my own marriage was pathetic. I opened my mouth, then stopped. Too tired. Too exhausted. She walked past me toward the guest room. I can't do this tonight. The door shut, and something inside me quietly gave up. 3 days later, Claire returned from another overnight business trip. Her suitcase landed near the laundry room. She disappeared into a work call upstairs. I started helping with laundry without thinking. Habit. Nothing more. Then I opened the side pocket of her overnight bag. My hand froze. A watch. Silver. Expensive. Definitely not mine. I knew exactly whose it was. Noah wore it constantly. I had seen him checking it during meetings. Seen Claire teasing him once for always adjusting the strap. My stomach turned. I carried it upstairs. Claire stood near the bed, typing on her laptop. I placed it gently beside her. What's this? Her eyes dropped. For a second. Actual panic. Then gone. Oh. She picked it up quickly. It's Noah's. I waited. Nothing else came. No explanation. Claire sighed heavily. He left it during travel. During travel. Her expression hardened. You're doing this again. Doing what? Making everything weird. I stared at her. A strange calm settled inside me. Not peace. Something colder. Something tired. I trusted you. You still can. Her voice softened slightly. It means nothing. Maybe. Maybe not. But suddenly, I realized something worse. Even if nothing happened, she had still stopped choosing me. Stopped protecting us. Stopped caring how things looked. How things felt. How much they hurt. I nodded once. That's fine. Claire blinked. That's it. Yeah. No argument. No begging. No pleading. Her forehead creased slightly. Almost confused. Like she expected another fight. I turned and walked downstairs. That night, I opened the closet in the guest room. Pulled an old suitcase from the top shelf. Set it quietly behind winter coats. Hidden. Waiting. My phone buzzed upstairs. 3 missed texts from Claire. Are you mad? Can we not fight? You're overthinking this. Unread messages. Piling up. For once, I left them untouched. Then I opened my contacts. Claire's name sat pinned at the top. A habit from years ago, back when she was the first person I wanted to call. My thumb hovered there for a second. Not anger. Not revenge. Just acceptance. I deleted the pin. Because deep down, I already knew I was halfway gone. I left on a Tuesday morning. No fight. No speech. No dramatic ending. Claire had already gone to work before sunrise. Coffee mug still sitting near the sink. Laptop charger missing. Her side of life moving exactly the way it always did. Busy. Fast. Untouchable. Mine finally stopped. The suitcase waited near the front door. Not full. Just enough clothes to feel real. Enough to stop pretending I was coming back tomorrow. I stood in the hallway longer than I should have. Our wedding photo still hung near the staircase. Beach sunset. Claire smiling against my shoulder. Back then, she held my hand like losing me scared her. Funny how people slowly stop noticing what they already believe belongs to them. I climbed onto a chair and carefully removed the frame. Dust marked the wall where it used to hang. That bothered me more than expected. Like even the house already knew something was missing. I carried the photo to the dining table. Beside it sat a folder. Divorce papers. And signed. Not because I changed my mind. Because I wanted one last chance for honesty. One last moment where she had to face what she ignored. No screaming. No blaming. Just truth sitting quietly in front of her. I wrote one sentence on a sticky note. I stopped fighting for someone who stopped choosing me. That was all. No anger. No insults. No begging. My hand hovered over my phone before leaving. Claire's contacts still sat there. Unpinned now. Unread messages from days earlier. Are you seriously ignoring me? Can we talk tonight? You're overreacting. Overreacting. The word almost made me smile. Months of loneliness reduced to one convenient excuse. I turned the phone over, locked the door, and disappeared. The apartment was small. Too small. Tiny kitchen, thin walls, cheap flooring, but something about it felt honest. No pretending, no waiting at dinner tables, no sleeping beside someone emotionally miles away. Daniel helped me move the last box upstairs. Gray beard, calm voice, still carried himself like the business mentor who once terrified conference rooms. He leaned against the kitchen counter. "You gonna tell me what really happened?" I shrugged. "Marriage died. That's simple." "No." I dropped onto the couch. "Just slower." Daniel stayed quiet for a second. "You still love her?" That answer came too fast. "Yeah." The honesty surprised even me. Then why leave? Because staying hurt worse. Because love stopped feeling safe. Because I got tired of asking someone to care. Instead, I rubbed my face. She stopped seeing me. Daniel nodded once, like he understood more than he wanted to admit. "Then don't waste pain." "What's that supposed to mean?" His mouth lifted slightly. "Build something." The next week felt unbearable. The apartment stayed too quiet. No footsteps. No late-night arguments. No Claire typing endlessly beside me. No perfume in the hallway. No reminder that I mattered less than work. Funny thing about heartbreak. Even pain becomes routine. I caught myself reaching for my phone constantly, wondering if she ate dinner, wondering if she noticed, wondering if she cared. The answer came 4 days later. A text. "Where are you?" Then another. "Did you seriously leave?" Then, "Ethan, stop being dramatic and come home." I stared at the screen for almost 10 minutes, then put the phone down. No reply. Hours later, another message. "We need to talk." Still nothing. Not revenge. Not punishment. I just could not survive another conversation where my feelings became inconvenience. A week passed. Then 2. Claire kept calling. Morning. Night. Random hours. Missed calls piled up quietly. Something shifted after week 3. The messages changed. Less frustration. More confusion. "Why aren't you answering?" "Are you okay? Can we please talk?" Please. Interesting word. I remembered using it. Back when saving us still mattered. Meanwhile, life slowly moved. Daniel introduced me to an old consulting client. Small project. Nothing huge. Just strategy planning for a local logistics company. The kind of work I used to love before stepping back for Claire's career. Funny. I had buried entire parts of myself so she could shine. Somewhere along the way, I forgot I existed too. "You're good at this," Daniel muttered after a meeting. I laughed quietly. "Used to be." "No." He pointed his coffee at me. "You still are." That stayed with me longer than expected. Confidence came back slowly. Not dramatically. Quietly. Like sunlight finally reaching a room that stayed dark too long. Then came the first crack in Claire's perfect world. Lena called one evening. "You heard about Claire's company?" I frowned. "No." "Big investor issue." Something inside me twisted instantly. "What happened?" "Apparently someone approved terrible expansion spending." My stomach dropped. "Dubai." The same thing I warned Claire about. Lena hesitated. "People online are blaming leadership." "Leadership?" "Claire." That night, I almost called. Almost. My thumb hovered over her name, then stopped, because every warning I ever gave her had already been ignored. A few days later, another message came. Different this time. No anger. No ego. Just short. Uneasy. "You were right about Noah." I stared at the screen, heart strangely heavy. A second message followed. "Call me. Please." I did not. Instead, I opened my laptop, tried focusing on work. But curiosity won eventually. Lena filled the gaps. Turns out Noah had been using Claire's influence for private deals. Pulling favors. Making risky choices without approval. Using company trust like it belonged to him. And Claire? She defended him. Again and again. Until investors started asking questions. Until money disappeared. Until trust cracked. I remembered warning her. Remember the gala. Remembered her voice. "No one understands where I'm trying to go better than you do." That memory hurt less now. Not because it mattered less. Because distance changed pain. Weeks turned into months. The apartment slowly started feeling less temporary. I signed a lease extension one afternoon. Pen shaking slightly. Not from sadness. From acceptance. This was real now. The old house became memory. Claire became memory too. Mostly. Still, nights stayed difficult. Some mornings I missed her so badly it felt embarrassing. Missed stupid things. Her coffee orders. Her sleepy voice. The way she stole blankets. Love does not disappear just because someone hurts you. That would be easier. Instead, it lingers. Quiet. Heavy. Unwanted. Then came the voicemail. Her voice barely sounded like herself. Small. Tired. Ethan. A pause. Long enough to hurt. I don't know how things got this bad. Breathing trembled softly. I miss you. The message ended there. No excuses. No defending Noah. Just sadness. I listened twice. Then put the phone down. Still no call back. Outside, rain hit the windows hard that night. Cold. Restless. Around 9, someone knocked at the door. I frowned. Daniel usually texted. Another knock. Slower this time. I opened it and nearly forgot how to breathe. Claire stood outside in the rain. Hair soaked. Mascara faintly smudged. Coat hanging unevenly like she threw it on without thinking. She looked smaller somehow. Not like the powerful CEO from magazine covers. Not like the woman who once dismissed my pain. Just tired. Broken. And for a second, I barely recognized her. Rainwater dripped from Claire's coat onto my apartment floor. Neither of us moved. She stood near the doorway, like someone unsure if they still belonged somewhere. I stayed by the door, hand resting against the frame. The silence between us felt strange. Not angry, not loud, just heavy. You found me. Her fingers tightened around the strap of her bag. Daniel told me where you lived. Of course he did. I made a note to be annoyed with him later. You look tired. A weak laugh escaped her. So do you. Funny. Months ago, those words would have softened me. Now they just floated there. Uncomfortable. Unsure. Do you want to come in? Her shoulders relaxed slightly. Only if you want me here. That hurt more than I expected, because there was a time she never had to ask. I stepped aside. The apartment suddenly felt smaller with Claire inside it. Too quiet. Too honest. She stood awkwardly near the kitchen, eyes drifting around. Cheap couch. Small dining table. Laundry basket near the hallway. This was the version of my life she never imagined. You really moved here? Yeah. You could have told me. I leaned against the counter. You stopped listening a long time ago. The words landed softly. Still sharp enough. Claire lowered her eyes. No defense came this time. No argument. No frustration. Just guilt. She reached into her purse. Pulled out her phone. I restored your contact. My eyebrows lifted slightly. What? You deleted me. A weak smile touched her lips. I deserve that. I said nothing. Because honestly, hearing that changed nothing. Too much damage had already happened. Claire looked around again. Your side of the closet is still empty. The sentence slipped out quietly, like she regretted saying it. I frowned. What? At home. Her voice cracked slightly. Your clothes are gone. A pause. The house feels, she stopped. Different. I almost laughed. Of course it felt different. Pain leaves fingerprints. She sat carefully at the table, hands folded tightly. Noah manipulated everything. There it was. The reason she came. I stayed standing. What happened? Claire rubbed her forehead. He pushed deals through without approval. Her voice turned bitter. He used company accounts to benefit friends. I nodded once. Not surprised. He kept telling me who to trust. The next words came slower. Who not to trust. My jaw shifted slightly. She noticed. I know, she whispered. The apology sat between us without fully arriving. He made me believe everyone doubted me. Her fingers tightened. But Ethan, a shaky breath. I let him. That part mattered more. Because deep down, I already knew Noah was not the whole story. You trusted him. Claire nodded. Yes. The honesty almost hurt worse. Why? She stared down at her hands for so long, I thought she would not answer. Because he made things easier. Her voice dropped. He agreed with me. No excuses. No blaming pressure. No blaming stress. Just truth. In you, she continued quietly. You challenged me. I crossed my arms. I cared. I know. Tears filled her eyes, but she blinked them away quickly. You noticed problems. Her voice trembled. You noticed me. The room stayed quiet. Not cold. Just sad. You know what hurts most? Claire swallowed hard. You never wanted much. She laughed weakly at herself. One weekend. Her eyes turned red. One dinner. A long pause. You just wanted me there. That sentence hit somewhere painful. Because it was true. I never wanted perfection. Never wanted expensive gifts. Never needed constant attention. I just wanted to stop feeling alone inside my marriage. Weeks passed after that visit. Claire kept trying. Coffee deliveries. Messages. Voicemails. Not desperate. Not dramatic. Just consistent. Hope your meeting went well. Did you eat? I miss talking to you. Sometimes I replied. Sometimes I did not. Distance changed things. Meanwhile, life slowly improved. Consulting work expanded. Daniel trusted me with larger projects. People listened to me again. Respected me. Strange feeling. I forgot how good it felt to matter. Then came Sophia. Not romance. Not replacement. Just peace. She was an architect helping one of Daniel's clients redesign office spaces. Calm voice. Easy smile. The type of person who listened fully before speaking. You overthink everything, she laughed one afternoon at a cafe. Occupational habit. No. She stirred her coffee. Heartbreak habit. I laughed. Actually laughed. Not forced. Not polite. Real. You. Always dishonest. Usually. The cafe door opened. I barely noticed. Until movement near the entrance slowed. Claire. She froze. Raincoat still on. Coffee forgotten in her hand. Her eyes landed on me. Then Sophia. Then me again. Something shifted across her face. Not jealousy. Something worse. Regret. Because maybe this was the version of me she forgot existed. The man who laughed. Who smiled naturally. Who looked lighter. Sophia glanced toward the door. You know her? I nodded once. My wife. The word felt strange now. Claire turned and left before I could stand. That night, my phone rang. I almost ignored it. Almost. Hello. Quiet breathing. Then, you looked happy. Claire's voice sounded smaller than before. Different. Ethan. A pause. You used to laugh like that with me. I stayed quiet. Because defending myself felt pointless. I found something today. Her voice trembled again. The hospital emergency form from last month. What? I was updating company records. She laughed bitterly. You removed me. I closed my eyes briefly. When I moved apartments, I changed emergency contacts. Daniel instead of Claire. You weren't there. The honesty slipped out before I could stop it. More quiet. Then, I deserve that too. Days later, Claire came by again. No rain this time. No dramatic entrance. She stood near my door, holding a small velvet box. What's that? She opened it slowly. My wedding ring. I found it. Her voice almost broke. You left it behind. I stared at the ring for a long second. Funny. Something that once meant forever now felt impossibly heavy. Claire stepped closer. Eyes red. Tired. Honest. I kept waiting for you to fight harder. The words came quietly. But you already had. A tear slipped down her cheek. I was so busy trying to build a future. Her voice cracked. I destroyed the person who was standing beside me. My throat tightened painfully. Not because I wanted to fix us. Because years ago, this was all I wanted to hear. Understanding. Accountability. Truth. Claire looked down. Then back at me. Barely above a whisper. I should have chosen you. The words hit exactly where I imagined they would. The words I waited years to hear. The words I once thought would heal everything. But standing there, hearing them now, nothing inside me moved the way it used to. The video reached everyone before breakfast. Even me. Claire stood behind a podium at her company headquarters. No polished smile. No confident CEO mask. Just exhaustion. Disappointment. Truth. Noah Hayes abused company trust, she said into the microphone. Reporters stayed silent. Employees too. We failed to notice serious misconduct sooner. We, not he. She still took responsibility. I respected that. Her hand stayed clasped tightly in front of her. As CEO, I take accountability for the mistakes that allowed this to happen. The clip ended there. Short, cold, professional. But I noticed something most people probably missed. Claire looked tired in a way sleep could not fix. Like regret had finally settled somewhere permanent. Daniel lowered his coffee mug. She's cleaning house. I nodded once. Too late. Maybe. He leaned back. But people usually learn after losing something. The sentence followed me all day. That evening, Claire texted. One last conversation. Please. No pressure. No guilt. No dramatic paragraphs. Just honesty. Or at least something close to it. I almost ignored it. Almost. But unfinished things have a way of sitting inside you. Heavy. Loud. We met 3 days later. Same lake where we used to spend weekends before life became too busy. Funny. The place looked exactly the same. Water calm. Trees moving softly in the wind. Only we had changed. Claire stood near the dock, already waiting. Simple sweater. No expensive heels. No business calls. Her phone stayed off beside her. That detail hurt more than expected, because this was the version of attention I spent years begging for. You came. Her voice sounded nervous. Yeah. I stayed a few feet away. Enough distance to feel real. Not cruel. Just careful. Claire tucked loose hair behind her ear. Thank you. I nodded once. Neither of us rushed to speak. The lake moved quietly behind us. Peaceful. Almost unfair. Because heartbreak should happen somewhere uglier. You exposed Noah. The words came naturally. She looked down. I had to. A humorless laugh escaped her. Turns out you were right about almost everything. No pride came from hearing that. Just sadness. Claire rubbed her hands together. I kept defending him. Her eyes turned red. Even after people warned me. A pause. You warned me. I stayed quiet. Because what exactly was there to say? Sorry your choices finally caught up to you? Sorry I spent years feeling invisible? No sentence sounded useful anymore. I thought success would fix everything, she continued quietly. If I worked harder, if I built more. Her voice weakened. I thought we would eventually be okay. I stared toward the water. But you stopped showing up. The truth sat there. Simple. Heavy. Claire nodded slowly. I know. No. My jaw tightened slightly. I don't think you do. That got her attention. Years of swallowed pain finally sat near the surface. Not rage. Something calmer. Sharper. You think Noah ruined our marriage? She blinked quickly. He made things worse. Maybe. I folded my arms. But Noah wasn't the reason it ended. Confusion crossed her face. What? The wind moved softly between us. You know what actually ended us? My voice stayed steady. Every dinner you skipped. Her expression cracked. Every promise you moved to next weekend. Her lips parted slightly. Every time I tried talking, and you made me feel inconvenient. Claire lowered her eyes. You trusted him over me. The next words hurt, even leaving my mouth. And after a while, I exhaled slowly. You taught me that I mattered less. Nothing dramatic followed. No shouting. No crying. Just honesty finally arriving too late. Claire wiped at her face quickly. I never meant to make you feel that way. I know. That part was true. Pain caused by neglect still hurts. Even when accidental. I wasn't cheating, she whispered suddenly. The sentence almost sounded desperate. I swear. I believed her. Strangely, that no longer mattered. I know. She looked stunned. You know, I think you crossed emotional lines. I shrugged lightly. But honestly, a tired smile touched my face. That's not even what broke me. Claire looked lost, like she expected anger. Blame. Something easier to fight. You stopped protecting us, I continued. You stopped noticing when I disappeared right beside you. Tears slipped down her face now. Quiet ones. No performance. No dramatic apology. Just grief. I trusted convenience over love. Her voice shook. Noah made work easier. She swallowed hard. And loving you took effort. The honesty hurt. Mostly because it was true. I got lazy. Another shaky breath. I thought you'd always stay. There it was. The real reason. Comfort. Assumption. The belief that loyalty meant permanence. I wanted one weekend, I said quietly. Claire covered her face for a second. I know. One dinner. I know. One moment where I felt chosen. Her shoulders trembled slightly. I know. The lake stayed still. Birds moved somewhere in the distance. Life continuing. Completely unfair. Claire stepped closer. Not too close. Just enough. Please. Her voice barely held together. One chance. The words I imagined hearing 1,000 nights finally arrived. Months ago, I would have done anything for them. Anything. Now, something felt different. Not cold. Not angry. Just tired. My fingers brushed against the wedding ring still resting in my pocket. I had carried it for months. Maybe out of guilt, maybe habit, maybe hope. I loved you. The sentence came softer than expected. Still true, still painful. But loving you started hurting more than losing you. Claire closed her eyes, like the words physically landed somewhere painful. I'm trying to become better. I know. And I breathe out slowly. You should. Her face fell. Not because I sounded cruel, because she understood. This time, I was choosing myself. The divorce papers got finalized 2 months later. Respectful. Quiet. No ugly fight. No revenge. Claire never fought me on anything. Sometimes she still texted. Mostly small things. Hope work is good. Saw your consulting interview. Proud of you. I answered sometimes. Kindly, but carefully. Months passed. Life changed slowly. Consulting grew. Daniel became more friend than mentor. Sophia stayed around too. Easy conversations. Good company. No pressure. No chaos. Just calm. One afternoon, after finishing a lakeside meeting, I saw Claire again. Completely unexpected. She stood near a cafe patio. Coffee in hand. Hair shorter now. Simpler. Quieter. Her eyes found me instantly. A sad smile touched her lips. You look good. You too. And strangely, it was true. No bitterness stayed between us anymore. Just history. Claire hesitated. You seem happy. I thought about answering carefully, then decided honesty mattered. I think I finally am. Something moved across her face. Pain. Relief. Acceptance. Maybe all three. You deserve that, she whispered. The wind moved softly between us. No begging came this time. No impossible promises. Just understanding. I reached into my jacket pocket after leaving. The wedding ring still sat there. Old habit. Old weight. Half an hour later, I stopped near the quiet lake. Same water. Same view. Different man. The ring rested in my palm for a long moment. Memories came fast. Love. Arguments. Cold dinners. Loneliness. Hope. Loss. I crouched near the edge of the dock, then gently placed the ring beside the water. Not thrown. Not dramatic. Just left behind. A chapter finally ending. When I stood again, something felt lighter. Not revenge. Not victory. Peace. I got back into my car, started the engine, and this time, I drove forward without looking back.